They don't tell you the truth about success, about strength, about what it really takes. They show you the highlight reels, the polished smiles, the champagne toasts. But they leave out the part that matters most. The silence, the solitude. The nights you sit alone with your failures staring back at you, daring you to quit. Before we dive in, if you're the kind of man who refuses to settle, who knows deep down there's more waiting for him, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel is for you, for those of us willing to rebuild from nothing. My name doesn't matter. My titles don't matter. What matters is this. I know what it feels like to have nothing. I know what it feels like to be broke, not just in my pockets, but in my spirit. I know what it's like to sit alone in a tiny, dark apartment, wondering if you'll ever matter to anyone, including yourself. I was 35 years old, flat broke, divorced, drinking more than working, living off borrowed money and borrowed time. Every morning I'd wake up to the sound of my own excuses. Then the economy is bad. No one's hiring. I'm too old to start over. Maybe it's just not meant to be. And then one night everything changed. Not because of some miracle, not because someone gave me a shot. I changed. I sat alone on a dirty mattress, my last $20 in my wallet, and I realized no one is coming. Not to save me, not to rescue me, not to believe in me. It's on me. And in that loneliness, real, brutal loneliness, I found a spark, a tiny ember inside me that refused to die. That night I made a vow, a simple one. I said to myself, this is not how my story ends. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but I knew this. I would rebuild. The first thing I killed was the idea that anyone owed me anything. The world doesn't care about your pain. It doesn't care about your potential. It only responds to proof. So I stopped talking, stopped complaining, stopped wishing. I started moving, step by step, quietly, alone. At first it was ugly. I took every job I could find, scrubbing floors, loading trucks, answering phones. Pride? Pride is for men with full fridges and paid bills. I wasn't proud. I was hungry. I read every business book I could afford, which at the time was free downloads and old library copies. I studied after midnight while others slept. I treated learning like a second job. I started noticing patterns. Success wasn't magic, it wasn't luck, it was math, it was habits, it was obsession. I launched my first business from a borrowed laptop in a shared apartment with 4 other broke men who thought I was insane. Selling cheap products online, no inventory, no experience, just hustle. It failed. Then I tried another. It failed too. And another and another. I failed so much I forgot what it felt like to win. But I learned. Oh God, did I learn. Every failure carved away weakness. Every no sharpened my hunger. Every lonely night toughened my soul. And then, 3 years in, one idea stuck. Not big at first. A few $100, then a few thousand. Then enough to leave the second job. Then enough to move into my own tiny apartment. Then enough to hire my first employee. I was 40 by then. 5 years later, I built a business worth millions. Today, I own companies that employ hundreds. I live in a house I once cut out of magazines and taped to my cracked refrigerator. I travel, I give back, I building. But none of that, none, would have happened if I hadn't faced myself alone in the dark and decided, I will not die like this. Strength doesn't come from comfort. It doesn't come from applause. It doesn't come from handouts. It comes when you're alone, when the noise fades, when the fake friends disappear, when there's no one left to impress, Just you, your pain, your dreams, your reflection. That's when you meet the real you. That's when you stop negotiating with your potential. That's when you start building a man worthy of respect, your own respect. If you're reading this right now and you're alone, good. Stay there. Feel it. Use it, because the man who survives loneliness, who uses it as fuel instead of fear, becomes unstoppable. The world will try to tell you you're broken. The world will try to shame you for not keeping up. The world will try to distract you with cheap dopamine and false promises. Ignore it. The world belongs to the man who refuses to quit on himself. Build your body, build your mind, build your skills, build your discipline. When others sleep, grind. When others doubt, believe. When others quit, push harder. There is no shortcut, there is no secret. There's just the lonely work, the cold mornings, the silent sacrifices, the thankless grind, until one day they ask you how you got so lucky. Smile and keep building, because by then you'll know the truth. Strength comes when you're alone, and the man who conquers loneliness conquers everything. If this story hit you somewhere deep, if it reminded you that your future still belongs to you, subscribe now. We are just getting started. And brother, the second half of your life can be legendary if you're willing to build it.